Let me start by saying this. If people are playing you for a fool, you need to take a step back, look in the mirror, and ask yourself a tough question. How did I get here? You see, life has a funny way of teaching us lessons. Sometimes the lessons are kind, and other times they are harsh. But I've learned over the years that the toughest lessons are often the ones we need the most. If you found yourself being played, taken advantage of, or disrespected, it's not always about other people. It's about you. Because people can only treat you the way you allow them to treat you. And so today we're going to break this down. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why people play you for a fool. And most importantly, what you can do about it. These are truths that might sting a little, but remember, growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. Growth happens when you confront the hard truths and decide to make a change. Let's begin. Reason 1. You're too afraid to say no. Now, this is a big one. Too many people get played simply because they can't bring themselves to say one little word. No. Why? Because they're afraid. They're afraid of disappointing people, afraid of confrontation, afraid of being judged or rejected. But let me tell you something important. Every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you're saying no to yourself. You're saying no to your time, your energy, and your self-respect. People who play you for a fool know this about you. They know you're a people pleaser. They know you're too nice to stand up for yourself. So they push your boundaries and take advantage of your inability to say no. And guess what? The more you allow it, the more it happens. Here's the truth about saying no. It's not selfish. It's necessary. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a person with standards. It shows people that you value yourself enough to protect your time and energy. And let me tell you, when you start saying no, the people who play you for a fool will either step up or step out of your life. Both are wins. Practice this. The next time someone asks you to do something you don't want to do, take a breath and say, no, I can't do that. No excuses, no apologies, just a firm, respectful no. You'll be amazed at how freeing it feels. And more importantly, you'll stop being seen as an easy target. Reason 2, you don't know your own value. This is the first, and perhaps the most important reason why people play you for a fool. You don't know your own value. And if you don't know your worth, let me tell you something. The world's not going to help you find it. People will take advantage of you. People will test your limits, and people will exploit your kindness. Not because they are inherently evil, but because human nature tends to lean toward what it can get away with. Imagine you're a diamond, a priceless gem, but instead of carrying yourself as a diamond, you're acting like a piece of glass. You allow others to toss you around, undervalue you, and question your worth. Why? Because you haven't realized just how valuable you really are. Here's the truth. If you don't put a high price on yourself, people will assume you're cheap. If you don't set boundaries, people will overstep them. And if you don't respect yourself, you can't expect anyone else to do it for you. So what do? You need to start by understanding your value. That means reflecting on what you bring to the table. Your skills, your character, your kindness, your time. These are priceless commodities. Stop selling yourself short. Stand up straight, walk with confidence, and carry yourself like the valuable person you are. Because when you truly know your worth, you'll stop allowing people to treat you like you're disposable. Remember this, people treat you how you treat yourself. If you carry yourself like a fool, they'll play you for one. Reason 3, you don't trust your instincts. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a gut feeling about someone, that little voice inside that said, something's not right here? And what did you do? If you're like most people, you ignored it. You pushed it aside. You told yourself you were being paranoid or overreacting or imagining things. And then what happened? That same person played you for a fool. You see, your instincts are there for a reason. That gut feeling you get, that's your internal alarm system. It's your subconscious mind picking up on clues that your conscious mind hasn't fully processed yet. And more often than not, it's right. But here's the problem. Most people don't trust themselves. They second guess their instincts. They talk themselves out of what they already know deep down. Why? Because listening to your instincts sometimes means making hard decisions. It means walking away from people who make you uncomfortable. It means setting boundaries with people who don't have your best interest at heart. And that's not always easy. So here's my advice, trust yourself. When something doesn't feel right, pay attention to it. When someone's words don't match their actions, believe what you see, not what you hear. Your instincts are powerful. Use them. Because the moment you start trusting yourself, you stop giving people the power to play you. Reason 4, you're too forgiving. Now, don't misunderstand me here. Forgiveness is a beautiful thing. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. It allows you to let go of bitterness, heal your heart, and move forward. But there's a difference between forgiving someone and letting them take advantage of you over and over again. You see, some people confuse forgiveness with blind tolerance. They think that forgiving someone means giving them unlimited chances to hurt you. And let me tell you something. The people who play you for a fool, they know this about you. They know you have a big heart. They know you're quick to forgive, so they keep taking advantage of your kindness. Here's the hard truth. If someone keeps showing you who they are, believe them. Don't let your desire to see the good in people blind you to the reality of their actions. Forgive them, yes. But also learn from the experience. Protect yourself. Don't let the same person fool you twice. There's a saying I love. When someone shows you who they are, don't paint over it. Accept it. You can forgive people for their mistakes without allowing them back into your life. You can let go of anger without letting go of your self-respect. So stop giving endless chances to people who don't deserve them. You're not a doormat. You're a person of value. Treat yourself like one. Reason 5, you're too desperate for approval. This one might sting a little, but it's the truth. People play you for a fool because they know you're desperate for approval. They know you're willing to do anything to be liked, to be accepted, to fit in. And let me tell you something. When you're desperate for approval, you become easy to manipulate. People can sense it. They can smell it a mile away, and they will use it to their advantage. Why do we crave approval so much? Because we want to feel worthy. We want to feel like we matter. But here's the thing. Real worth comes from within, not from other people's opinions. When you rely on others to validate you, you give away your power. You become a puppet and they hold the strings. Well, so how do you fix this? It starts with building your self-worth from the inside out. You see, too many people tie their value to what others think about them. They wait for compliments, likes, promotions, or approval to feel enough. But let me tell you something. The moment you depend on others to validate you is the moment you give away your power. True self-worth doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within. You got to remind yourself of who you are. Take a moment and reflect on everything you bring to the table. Your strengths, your skills, your heart, and your ability to grow. Write them down if you have to. Speak them out loud. Because when you focus on what's already inside you, you start to realize you are enough just as you are. And then work on your confidence. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. Set small, achievable goals and go after them. Prove to yourself over and over again that you are capable. When you see yourself following through, even on the little things, your confidence grows. You start walking taller, speaking louder, and showing up with purpose. Over time, you become someone you're proud of, someone you admire, and here's the magic. When you know your worth, you stop relying on other people to tell you that you're enough. You stop waiting for their approval. And when you stop needing approval, you stop being a target. Manipulation only works on those who doubt themselves. But when you value yourself, you set standards. You create boundaries. So build yourself up brick by brick. Know your worth, own it, and carry it with you everywhere. Because when you become proud of who you are, no one can take that away from you. So there you have it. 5 reasons why people play you for a fool. Let me recap. 1, you don't know your own value. 2, you're too afraid to say no. 3, you don't trust your instincts. 4, you're too forgiving. 5, you're too desperate for approval. But here's the good news. Every single one of these reasons is something you can change. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. It doesn't matter how many times you've been taken advantage of in the past. You don't have to keep reliving that same story. Change begins the moment you decide to value yourself. When you draw a line in the sand and say no more, it's a powerful decision, and it's one that only you can make. Start by recognizing your worth. See, when you truly understand how valuable you are, you stop accepting less than you deserve. You stop bending over backward for people who wouldn't do the same for you. You stop making excuses for those who take advantage of your kindness. Knowing your worth isn't about arrogance. It's about respect, self-respect. It's about understanding that you have just as much value as anyone else. Next, trust yourself. Too often we ignore our intuition. We let doubt creep in, convincing ourselves that we're overthinking, that we're being too sensitive. But let me tell you something. Your instincts are there for a reason. If something feels off, it probably is. Trust that little voice inside you. Trust yourself enough to walk away when someone isn't treating you right. And don't forget to set boundaries. Boundaries are not selfish. They are necessary. They protect your energy, your time, and your peace of mind. People who care about you will respect your boundaries. People who don't, well, they'll show themselves. And that's a blessing in disguise. Most importantly, live life on your terms. Stop waiting for permission to be happy, to take up space, to say no. You don't need anyone else's approval to live a life that feels right to you. So let me leave you with this. Don't let people play you for a fool. You are not a fool, you're strong. You are capable. You are worthy of respect and love. Stand tall. Walk with confidence. And remember, no one can take advantage of you without your permission. From this day forward, take back your power. Know your worth. And never let anyone tell you otherwise.